Today I am here with Vince Vaughn, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his career.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, yeah, I'm Vince Vaughn. I am a technologist. I've been in technology since the internet began. First started out building the first website that ever existed for Jackie Robinson. I was written about in the New York Times and CNN. That charted my way to a great career in technology, where I've worked for some of the largest companies in the world, like Allstate Insurance, Sprint, as well as the Principal Financial Group, and now my career is mostly focused on selling technology
Cool.
for
That's
companies like
awesome.
Hewlett Packard Enterprise and startups.
Startups. Cool. That's awesome. So that's impressive. I didn't realize you set up that website starting out.
That's
So
why I have a career, Sarah.
I know. We're so glad about that.
Yeah.
So, um, so you kind of told us a little bit about how you got to where you are. If you have more details, you're welcome to share. And kind of where are you wanting to go in the future with your career?
So, well, first of all, I kind of floundered in my career until I was about 30. You know,
Late bloomer.
I definitely was a late bloomer. Um, and so what happened was that it was in the late 90s where I really was focused on what can I do to, you know, better myself and have a career in technology, and the internet had just happened. They called it the information superhighway back in the day. So anyway, there was, you could, even back then they had search engines like Yahoo that you could search for anything and you'd probably get something back. And I remember I did a search one time for Hong Kong Phooey, and the kids don't have no idea who Hong Kong Phooey is, but he was a cartoon character on Saturday morning cartoons. That's when they used to wake up on Saturday morning, Sarah, and you just watch cartoons all morning.
Exactly. I
It's
remember
like,
that.
it was like the highlight of my week, watching Saturday morning cartoons. And so one of the cartoons on there was Hong Kong Phooey, and they had, even back then you could search on the internet for Hong Kong Phooey. You could find everything you wanted to know about Hong Kong Phooey, all the episodes, all the episode guides, everything. This is like 1997. Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
Way back in the day.
Way back.
So then what happened was that in what I this was the 50th anniversary. 1997 was the 50th anniversary of Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier in Major League Baseball. So before 1947, people of color were not allowed to play in Major League Baseball.
Right.
And Jackie Robinson was the first man to break the color barrier.
Right.
And I'm not going to get into that here, but it's a great story. And it really is a great story about how you overcome a lot of external things in your life to succeed and be good at what you do.
Exactly.
So I did this website for him in 1997, and people were noticing it. People were going to it. I also worked with Jackie Robinson's family to be able to use the logo that they used for the 50th anniversary. All that was prologue for me having a career in technology, where I have been working I worked as a system administrator, taking care of servers, making sure they were networked well, but also programming and writing the code, and making sure that the application was up, and that it always stayed up, as much as we could make it stay up, because what good's a website if it's not working?
Right. Exactly.
So anyway, and that translated to me going to work for Honeywell as a programmer. Basically, what they did is they gave me a job to learn how to code.
Nice. That was a bonus.
They don't do that anymore, because back then nobody knew how to code.
How to code.
in Java,
Exactly.
at least in the language I was working on.
Uh,
But they figured they wanted it coded in Java, and because I knew other stuff, other programming
right.
languages, they figured I could figure this out. And
Figure
I
it
did.
out. Right.
Translated that into a 10-year career at Sprint. And then here's a lesson for you kids. If you, after 10 years and your company gets purchased by another company, um, they might try to give you your job back at 25% less money. You don't have to do that. Okay. So I was like, no, thanks. I'll take your severance package. And then what I did then is that I uh, put a shingle out front, basically just was open for business as an independent consultant. And that's how I got to work with Allstate Insurance and Principal Financial Group. Um, and then that led me to a couple of startups. And then the work I did on those startups propelled me and prepared me for a career as a sales leader where I, lead technical salespeople to help sell technology, which is, I think, my true calling and what I love to do.
Yeah, I know you're really good at that. So, and what are you wanting to do future wise?
So definitely more. So I have a podcast, and why does that make you chuckle?
Oh,
Because
just
you've listened
going
to
along.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have a podcast, and I also have a webcast. So I have a weekly podcast that's organized around technology.
Right.
Mostly, not
Most,
100%, but there's
but
there's a
exactly.
there's some stuff there.
Technology, exactly.
And then I do this webcast too called the Paragon 20. Paragon is a company I created that allows, I mean, basically, a Paragon is like an ideal version of who we are,
Right.
and like a paragon of virtue. People
Hmm.
hear that term being thrown around,
Right.
which means you're like the ultimate as a virtuous person.
Right.
And so I'm really after working with people who really want to be the best version of themselves.
Okay.
And the Paragon 20 is around helping salespeople make more money and sell more technology.
That's awesome. Very
Well, I
cool.
think I really believe that leveraging the power of the internet, it's always been a part of my career, and it will continue to be.
Right. Which is great. That's one. It's not going away. So it's kind of
They might not call it the information superhighway anymore, Sarah.
they might not. They might not. And there's a few other search engines too that weren't around in 97.
Yeah. The internet's a series of tubes. Did you know that, Sarah?
I did not. Thank you for letting me know.
A series of tubes.
Tubes, who knew? So what was one of the first jobs you had as a kid?
Oh, my very first job I had as a kid, I worked at the Ponderosa.
Ooh,
So I was a bus boy.
bus
Um,
boy, nice.
and then I moved to dishwasher.
Man, big
And then
time.
I moved to fry cook. And that's
Jeez.
about where I peaked. Ponderosa.
So, and what did those things teach you that you've been able to use through your life?
Oh, it's no one wants to work with a jerk. I mean, that's kind of what you learn is that because here's the deal, that's also a great social outlet. Like when I was a kid, uh, I would get together with the people I work with. I mean, it was just a whole new social circle for me.
Right,
And you also learn how to make money,
right.
which is nice.
Hmm.
Um, so and you learn, if you are a jerk, um, you learn that people don't like working with jerks, and I think that's, if anything, those are the things that prepare you when you work at a job like that, to prepare
Exactly.
you for like what I'm doing today, because I still don't like working with jerks, and if I'm a jerk, I know people won't want to work with me.
Exactly. Good. And we're glad you're not a jerk, 100% of the time.
Well,
So
everything is relative, right?
exactly,
The
exactly.
internet's a series of tubes.
Jeez. So, what educational path did you take?
Self-taught.
Self-taught. Did you go to college?
I did. I got to the last semester of a history degree, and
Okay.
I'm like, I'm not going to use this. You know, I'm not going to do this. So anyway, um, you know, that's the thing about technology is like if you, because here's the deal. When I was learning the stuff,
Right.
my free time was all about learning to code, learning to build things, and I built things.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun.
Yeah,
I had a good time, but I mean, it was fun to me.
exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
and uh, and in technology, nobody cares if you have a degree in HTML. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody cares if you have a degree. Can you do it or not?
Right. And your
And
education is as you go,
yeah,
basically.
yeah,
You know.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And so um, we live, I think, more in a world now where can you do it or not
Right.
matters a little bit more than the degree you have.
Exactly.
I'm
No.
just gonna I'm just gonna be point blank about that. So,
Right. No,
so
and
anyway,
that's
I I did go to college, but it was really for a history degree, and you know,
so.
I-
Yeah. So you're educated, but
remotely,
exactly, kind
but
of.
I'm mostly self-educated, I
Yeah.
would say.
Right. Which is good to know for the kids to know
Yeah,
that
yeah, everybody has
they
different
can do
career
it
paths.
themselves. Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
everybody has different career paths. I mean, everybody.
Right. Exactly. What can kids do now to get ready for a job like yours?
Um, so uh, as far as getting ready, I think learning a technology was central to me understanding technology.
Right. Actually.
So, if you're wanting to learn how to connect servers together, um, and there's great resources. You can get like free version of like VMware to set up a virtual environment in your home, create a lab on your laptop or your
Uh-huh.
desktop, learn how to create virtual LANs or switches,
Uh-huh.
network switches, things like that. You can do all of that, basically on your own laptop. You don't,
Mm-hmm.
how to, in
That
fact,
help.
if you Google how to set up a virtual lab on my laptop, you're going to get a million billion resources to allow you to help you, figure out how to do that.
Do that.
But the other thing too is, you know, learning a technology like programming,
Right.
like Python language or PHP, build a website.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what you're most passionate about. And like, hey, we could use a website about that. That's what I did with Jackie Robinson is that, I just built this website
Right.
and it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The response I got, not necessarily the website, but the response I got was amazing.
Was amazing.
And that paved the way for, I mean, I can draw a line from here where I'm at now all the way back there.
Back. So that's really cool. Yeah, and the internet is amazing right now, but it's easy to set up a website and things like that to learn from,
Well,
as a student, you can
it's
do a
it's
lot.
it's but here's the thing, it's not just because it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Right.
I did stuff to make it hard,
Make it hard. Be more
so I mean, like
challenging.
I the whole point of doing this is also to challenge yourself
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
do something that nobody's done before. I mean, yeah, leverage the easy stuff, but then build on the easy stuff and do something hard. That's how
Right.
you're really going to learn how to do stuff.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So, well, thank you for being here today. We really appreciate it. I think
Oh,
the
it was
kids
my
will.
pleasure.
So, all right, and good luck in your career.
Thank you.